Hello and welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew, and today I wanted to talk a little bit more about Final Fantasy 16. So, I did some testing on my 4K OLED. I got up to past the I got all the way back to Ludwig in the in the new game plus mode. I was just skipping all the cutscenes, stuff like that. Well, not all of them, just some of them. But the whole reason of this test was to put my PS5 into 1080p mode and play it in the performance mode, the one that drops to as low as 720p while you're in fighting. And I tested both just regular with it still in 4K, and then I tested it in 1080p mode. And I'll tell you what, man, it actually doesn't look too bad if you drop it to the 1080p mode. The one thing that the biggest difference that I did notice though is it appears to be a little bit sharper if you don't do that in like the cutscenes and stuff. But if you do leave it in 1080p, it's going to be consistent all the way across the board. Cutscenes, everything are just going to be more consistent. So in my honest opinion, if you're going to play in performance mode on a 4K TV, drop it down to 1080p, your PS5, put it in 1080p. You'll still get your HDR support. You'll still be able to get VRR support, all of that stuff. And then your experience will just be more consistent across the board. Like everything, it'll be consistent through cutscenes. It'll be consistent through gameplay. And to tell you the truth, because your 4K TV will be upscaling your image from 1080p to 4K, it does still have a soft look, and it will still have a little bit of blurriness in the background. But man, I'm feeling pretty good at it. Pretty good about it. It looks pretty decent. But I do recommend, especially if you have an OLED, throw it in vivid mode just so the colors pop a little bit more. It actually looks pretty decent. But for some reason, 1080p has always had that. On a 4K TV, it always has that like softer look, but if you could get used to that, the performance mode is actually fairly decent. Now, I did try it with the other mode as well, and having it with the quality mode and both being in 1080p, it really didn't affect the image quality enough to be like, yeah, you should play at 30 frames per second in that mode. It just helps to let your TV do the upscaling, especially with the FSR. That's kind of something that I've noticed pretty recently. If you have a game that's using FSR to upscale, especially from something lower, and I even did this with Jedi Survivor, put the Xbox in 1080p mode and was trying this, and I was like, wow, that looks significantly better. It just looks better. Like it is going to be soft. Like it will look soft. It won't look 4K. It won't look crispy. But it will give you a more consistent experience across the board. And then your TV, some TVs are better than others. It will upscale a lot better than what FSR does. Trust me, your TV's upscaler is far better at upscaling the pixels than FSR is. FSR is kind of, especially FSR 1. If that's what they're using, man, that does not look that freaking good on these video games, especially when you get out there in the vegetation. That's usually the big thing. If you're in somewhere with a lot of straight lines, like architecture, stuff like that, FSR is fine. Whatever upscaling is fine. But checkerboard rendering and FSR in vegetation just kind of gives it that blurry, fuzzy look. Whereas if you're letting your TV upscale it, it gets rid of the fuzzy look completely. Like the fuzzy look is gone because your TV is actually handling all the upscaling. So it's getting rid of all that noise for you, which is pretty cool. And a lot of people, like nobody really talks about the quality of your screen, the quality of your TV. Now, my ultimate way to play Final Fantasy 16 is on a 1440p monitor. It looked incredible the whole time. The contrast ratio on the monitor looks great. You're going to get beautiful, vibrant colors, and you're going to get, pretty good looking black level and contrast. It looks pretty dang good. But I know a lot of you guys, when you bought your PS5s, you bought a 4K TV, and that's kind of messed up for me to say, yeah, dude, run out there and just get a 1440p monitor and play this. But when it comes down to it, a 4K TV versus a 1440p monitor for the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X, all of your stuff is going to look consistent across the board on a 1440p monitor. Like, you won't have those games that are going to be like, and I mean, you will, I mean, you'll still get all of that visual quality. Like, if you're playing Horizon Forbidden West on a 1440p monitor or 4K TV, it's going to be a better looking image quality, because you don't get that. It always appears like finer detail on the 1440p monitor. Like, you still get your sharpness, but you also get a fullness, like a more dense, a more dense looking image quality if you're on that 1440p monitor. So that's usually why I recommend that. But I mean, this video here is to help you to be able to take advantage of your 4K screen that you've already got. If you've already bought this game and you want to play it in the performance mode without having to lose a lot of the clarity or whatever. But I do feel like it looks better. It looks smoother. I would give this a try. You might like it, you might not. There were some spots throughout this, the playtime that I went through, that did look a little bit softer. But overall, man, on a 4K screen, looking at it, in quality mode versus, 1080p mode versus having the PlayStation 5 in 4K mode and looking at it, either way you go, it kind of looks soft. So it doesn't necessarily really matter. The whole point is to get you the best experience that you can get out of this game. One thing I will say, the cutscenes always look incredible. It doesn't matter which way you go. The cutscenes are always, high quality. They're at 30 frames per second locked, so it doesn't really matter. You're still always getting that cutscene quality, but the rest of the game is far more consistent if you just drop your PS5 to 1080p. So if you like this content and you don't forget to like and subscribe, especially if you found this helpful. I'd like to get your feedback on that and see what you think on it. So we'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching.